Many a times we stumble upon the term data compression and it just sticks in the back of our heads and we don't even bother to look up what it is. Trust me when I say this, data compression has been crucial to us for past many decades and it will stay crucial to us for decades to come. So even if you're not a tech person, it's important that you know what data compression is because in this era of digitalization, this bare minimum of knowledge is imperative. This series has been made for people who just want to scratch the surface of the world of computer science. Now let's begin with the first video of our fundamental series, data and data compression as simplified as possible. What is data? The terms data and information are often used interchangeably even though both of them have distinct meanings. Data is unorganized facts and statistics that need processing, without which they are seemingly random and not understandable by us humans. Whereas information is a useful and organized data and it is understandable by us humans. Now do know that information is dependent on data and is specific to your expectations because all the irrelevant data is removed. Data is measured in bits and bytes, whereas information is stored in meaningful quantities like time. Now that I have told you that data is just raw information that needs processing, next quick thought would be, how does one obtain data? Data has two ways of being obtained. The first is what is called captured data and is obtained through purposeful investigation or analysis. The second is what is called exhaust data. For example, cash registers, speedometers, smartphones. Apart from doing their primary function, they might also generate some data which is known as exhaust data. It's time for an example. This is data. It doesn't make much sense apart from the fact that they are lowercase English alphabets with repetitions. Now this data can be processed in various ways to make something sensible out of it vis-a-vis information. To something like this. Hence, data only becomes information suitable for making decisions once it has been analyzed in some fashion. Data can be anything. It can be binary zeros and ones for computers because it is machine's language and it is not readily understood by us humans. Moving on to what is data compression. Data compression is modifying your data in such a way so that that particular set of data takes lesser of your storage space. With the same idea, there are two types of data compression: lossless data compression and lossy data compression. Let's get another example data back on the screen. As I've already told you, data is stored as bits and bytes. So in this example data, each character takes 1 byte of storage space. So in total, this example data takes up 9 bytes of storage space. Now this storage space could be your hard drives, your pen drives, your random access memory and more. Even if this data in front of you right now doesn't make any sense, do you think there is a way that this data can be made to take up space lesser than 9 bytes? Yes, there is. Lossless data compression is removal of repetitions from your data in such a manner that later on your original data can be retrieved from this compressed data. Now how can we compress the data right in front of us? I'm sure both of us are seeing repetitions we can eliminate, but we have also got to make sure that original data is retrievable from its compressed version. I'll give you 5 seconds to think of a way to compress this. So this set of data can be represented as using numbers to depict the frequency of the character, and we could program our software in such a way that it copies A twice, B thrice and C 4 times, and we get the same original data back to us when decompressed. This compressed data takes 6 bytes of space, from 9 bytes to 6 bytes. That's 33% reduction in size. and easily this could be decompressed to get our original data back. Unlike lossless data compression, lossy data compression changes the nature of your data to an acceptable extent in order to reduce its size. In other words, the quality of your data is reduced and there is no possible way that you can get your original data back. The only advantage in lossy data compression is you are able to save a lot more of your storage space, which is obviously due to the reduction in the quality of your data. Here is a simple example of lossy data compression. This string of text takes 42 bytes of storage space. A simple lossy compression algorithm would, for instance, remove all the vowels in it. This compressed string takes 27 bytes of storage space, which is significantly lesser than 42 bytes, but there is no way to get back our original data, which was data compression as simplified as possible. For the exact same reason, lossy compression isn't used on text-based data, as the compressed output loses its crucial information and becomes impossible to understand. So where is lossy data compression used? You see two pictures in front of you. In terms of quality, do you see any differences between them? No, right? But still, the one on the left is of size 688 KB and the one on the right is 232 KB. It's thrice as lower, and that's a lot of relief for your storage space. This is the result of lossy compression. Surely the quality of the right one is lower, and it's noticeable when you zoom in on both. Without lossy compression, your basic 720p Blu-ray movies would be way above 5 gigabytes. Your phone storage would have been full in just 100 songs instead of 1000 songs. And yes, we have been taking data compression for granted for a long time. JPEGs, MP3, MP4, they are all lossy compression formats. Let's take some real life examples. You will find a lot of repacks posted online which are the compressed version of the original game. When these repacks are installed or uncompressed, you get the same original game back. This is an example of lossless data compression. Well, not exactly lossless data compression, but data deduplication, but that concept is beyond the scope of this video right now. Anyway, there are a lot of repetitions in game textures, like you're playing Mad Max for instance. It's just desert all around, and it's getting repeated for the most part, hence these repetitions are removed and you get a repack of Mad Max of just 4 GB, which was originally 32 GB. And when you install this 4 GB repack, you get the same 32 GB of original game back to you, completely lossless, no quality reduction at all. And secondly, all of your data stored by Google, Facebook, Amazon or any other tech company first goes through some kind of lossless data compression and then stored in their server storages. While sending or uploading pictures on Facebook or Instagram, lossy compression algorithm acts on it to reduce data usage and reduce usage of server storage of Facebook or Instagram or any other social media company. Now, even if you're just storing something on your hard disk, some kind of compression acts on it. And few of them include, I'm sure you must have heard of these, FAT32, NTFS. They are all file systems and they are basically compressed file systems. Compression can be used to speed up file transfers, decrease costs of storage hardwares, and network bandwidths. There is data compression in every piece of technology around us, but still we are completely oblivious to it and swiftly ignore its importance. Concluding, I hope this video gave you a basic foundation of data compression and now you can outwit just about any of your friends. Thank you for watching. This is Dude Levian signing off.